Millar, Fire Department. We have a new hire. And Taylor Hutchins for the police department. Promotion to accept these two.
Make a motion to accept both.
I'll second.
All in favor? There we go. All right, HRS.
This requires a signature. All right. Pet Ordinance. Pet Ordinance.
So this was updated based off of the last meeting to add the last section for penalty. So this person found violating this ordinance, shown guilty of violation upon conviction there shall be issued a warning. This first offense, subsequent violation shall be punished by a fine of $100.
Do we have any discussion?
Make a motion to accept the ordinance as presented.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Then I'm against. All right, committee reports. Do we have any committee reports?
Planning board, the last time we met with a joint meeting with. Planning board. No, I understand, but.
Last time we did that, I had to wait till
Excuse me, gentlemen?
the battery died to reset it. I can't, I had Siri, I don't know what she said, you gotta unlock it first. It's a long,
David?
Wasn't Dave there?
Was it?
No, he asked me to watch.
All right.
So the planning board met with, had a co-meeting with the ZBA to go over ordinances that they had maybe any interest in for the planning board to advance to discuss with traffic planning. There was one person who came in, we explained the process for the building property. So that was, yeah, that was
we haven't had a meeting last month, and, we're also skipping July, so.
Recreation?
Recreation, we just had our candy bar bingo game, which we had a great turnout for, a lot of fun. And we are getting ready for our Old Home Celebration Touch a Truck event on August 22nd. Still looking for a band, if anyone knows of a band that's really cheap or free.
Alright, I guess that's it. Highway trucks.
Can we defer this until Kenny is, next week's, meeting, and we run through that?
You want to
Just move down to bottom.
Okay. MRI update?
Yes, I spoke to Christian today, in regards to, starting to go forward a little bit. And he wants to do a conference call on July 23rd at noon time in order to just quickly go over, what are some of the items that we can do to clean up the system and the water conversion.
Okay.
If anyone will be there.
When's our audit schedule?
She is coming to, July 29th, I think that's a Monday. Hold on. Yeah, the 29th, which is the Tuesday.
Kate?
Yeah, who's the audit? Who's doing the audit?
It's, Dash Uncle Badges,
Oh, okay, and our,
Jen, Dorr, she's the one that comes in and does the audit. Dash Uncle Badges.
Yeah.
But I have some offer that we arranged.
I just shut it off. Thank you.
Yeah.
The Boys Club?
What's that? Yes. Just looking for signatures to approve that $60 that, you know,
Okay.
$230 transactions that came out for, testing purposes.
So you're looking for approval for this? This is
Yes. Tim, can we go back on the old business and, discuss the Scottish, the DM burns and the police department?
Sure.
Did anything for us, or I think it on the agenda, so.
My apologies.
Alright, so yeah, looks like we got a couple of votes. Alright, so one from Central Signal. Scott, would you like to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, I don't have the quotes in front of me, but I can absolutely speak to them. As we discussed at the last meeting, the one from Cunningham basically just put security for the whole entire town under one company, because right now the police department is separate. And obviously, we discussed in that quote the monitoring service and then the one-time setup and the ability to make password changing and what have you for the systems in-house as opposed to having to outsource. There was a reoccurring fee with Cunningham for that service annually of, I believe, $97. I believe it's a change, on top of the annual fee for actual monitoring service. DM Burns, upon speaking with them, they offer the same service. They would have to upgrade our panels in the building. It's a one-time fee with them of $1,000 to upgrade that service. And then that would allow us to do everything that Cunningham was going to allow us to do, but they do not have an annual fee.
The Burns
So,
one,
so with Burns, once you upgrade the panels, it's all inclusive. So it would be just the standard quarterly bill that we currently get. And I did confirm with them, every time we call them to change the password, it is $60. Currently.
So I think we,
So this is something I'm not looking for a decision as far as that goes tonight or anything. Again, this was just something that kind of came about when we had Cunningham here, looking at the fire monitoring for all the other buildings. So kind of just some information for you guys and kind of make a decision at some point should you choose to. Not something we're need to do or are looking to do.
So then something we can discuss on the next
yeah,
meeting agenda.
yeah.
That way it's just all time to look at all the information we have. Alright. Alright, carpet cleaning, municipal building.
What do we want to do about that?
Probably hire a company to clean them. So we have a clean company we've used in the past, or?
I'm not aware of any movement in the past. I guess we could get a quote, see how much that is, because if it's over the $1,000 threshold, then we need to get multiple bids.
Sure.
Whatever.
So I think that's something you wanna do, or?
I won't be able to do it for a few weeks.
Is there somebody else who would like to volunteer?
I mean,
I hear yourself in the company.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't even know what, how much, I don't know.
So, like, we reach out? Perfect. Alright, online VOS communication.
So Kim still can't get on the website. The stuff in the notebook is not,
So I talked to Chris Hutchins, not Hutchins, Chris, our guy that does town club. He was working on that, he set up Robin and Jared last week, and he should be able to have Kim's situation. So the issue is there was some type of bug that needs to work out. I'm not exactly sure all the details are.
right, so when we have everybody's stuff, we'll actually put it in the book.
Absolutely. So as far as Robin's and Jared's stuff, she got an email to set that up. So as far as that goes, whether they go for password or anything.
You said you got that?
I did, yes.
renewable option.
Town clerk text letter.
Teresa, we asked you to do a non-pub and you said you wanted to do it in public session, is that correct?
I sent you something saying I wasn't gonna meet with you guys and that I would be here. But I guess I was not told what it was about. And obviously there were issues with Bonnie's ice conversation, and clearly there were conversations about the company and building that never was brought forward to me. And now apparently you guys have passed this ordinance, which I don't have a copy of what the ordinance is or anything, so at this point, I guess you guys just wanna keep attacking me, so that's why I'm saying, go ahead and talk about whatever you'd like in public, because I am being transparent with people.
So I'm just asking, you want to move your non-pub to public session?
I would like to know what it's about, being I was not told what it's about. How are you gonna ask me if I wanna talk about something or not? There was nothing explicit written or said to me in what it was in regards to.
No, you were invited to a non-public session.
And I'm not going to go sit in a room with people that have literally, I felt like have, like, sneak attack behind me instead of having an adult conversation in some fashion before anything was made public to the residents or any of this even happened at any point. So now I look like I'm being villainized to a lot of people, even though you guys say you've talked to several people. there are several people that I've talked to that come into the building that have not had an issue with anything. So, I mean, I don't know what it is that you guys want to talk about. So I can't answer your question, so you're asking me the question, but you're not giving me an answer, so how am I supposed to say yes or no, like, let's continue? I just rattled off a couple things, and it's like crickets.
Well, if you don't agree, then we can't discuss it.
Excuse me? Read what?
If
What
you
are
don't, if you don't agree to going into public session, then we can't discuss anything.
Didn't we with your husband have an on-club? You had a non-club with him, and then he decided after that he wanted to go public with it, and how we did it that way?
That was on a separate night.
Right, that's kind of.
Absolutely, we'd be more than happy to do that.
Isn't that?
Go ahead and discuss whatever you'd like, because obviously this is not at all the path that I think anybody wanted to go down, but go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, a point of order. Under 91A, it's protocol to list either A, B, C, or D. It was like detrimental to somebody's reputation or...
But the person who can also, they can also request for it to be a public matter.
Right, but it's either like A, B, C, or D, like somebody's reputation is at stake, or hiring or firing, or, you know what I mean?
Yes.
A, B, C, or D.
So I think this is at what, 91A, 3, C?
Thank you, yes.
Matters for which if discussed in public would likely adversely affect the reputation of any person other than the member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance of tax abatement, waiver of fee, fine, other than levy, if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. No? Are you okay with that?
I said it like 5 minutes ago before you rattled up whatever you just read.
So we would like to discuss what happened last Thursday in the office.
Oh, my discussion with Bonnie that decided to disrespect my position as an elected official? Is that what we're talking about?
Wait a minute, I never did that. I spoke to someone in the office that I have 100% right to speak to.
The RSA states that she works directly under the town clerk, tax collector.
She works
said
for
the
the
office
town.
hours.
She is not an elected official. I have
She
the right
works
to
under
speak
the
to
pleasure of the
her.
town clerk.
I
That
have
was
the
what
right
was
to speak
explained
to
to
her.
me in conferences and everything.
And when you spoke up, I immediately turned and spoke to you.
And I made it very clear that
No, then you went off on another subject.
Bonnie? I'd ask the chair to be manning the meeting, but could you please give us a play-by-play of what happened? Your point of view.
Sorry about that, just check the camera quickly.
she came up to the window and was asking my deputy directly while I was sitting at my desk about what hours she worked. Now, it should be well known to you guys, being that you sign the timesheets every week, what hours, and it should have been easily found out. Instead, they decided to talk to Joni. She works 8 hours a week because she has another part-time job. It was said, would you be willing to cover when Teresa's not there? No. I personally, other than conferences or elections or something to that effect, think that in the last 2 years, I've not been there 6 days. People work close together, everybody gets sick at the same time. We were all sick during elections a few years ago. So I simply turned around and asked Bonnie, why are you discussing it with her? It should be brought to my attention. And she said, of course, you're right. Directed at me. And then she asked me, and I said, why do you need to know? And she's like, I was asked to talk about it by the board. Well, okay, so now I feel like, okay, I'm getting attacked in another direction because we've already attacked me bringing my dog in, which, because obviously, one person that works in the building who could have come up to me and talked to me about it, didn't. Decided to make it a public issue, make it an issue with you guys. Then, yeah, I got a little heated by simply saying that I don't feel like I want to sit in a room with 5 of you when I felt like I was completely disrespected in the fact that nobody wanted to have this discussion with me before it was brought into meetings. Nobody could have told me, hey, we're going to talk about animals in the buildings. That was never brought to my attention.
Bonnie, what's your recollection?
It was somewhat what she said, but there was no talking on her behalf. It was immediate screaming at me.
I was not screaming. You were screaming.
I have witnesses.
I was talking at this level.
Guys,
I'm just saying, I was talking at this level. If anybody's ever heard me yell, they know this is not me yelling. Believe me.
I appreciate that, Bonnie.
No, I'm not even gonna go on because I can't get my say in. So I keep getting interrupted. Forget it.
So for clarification, Joni works 8 hours a week when she was initially hired to work 16 hours.
It was 8 to 16. Look at the hire sheet. It was 8 to 16 hours a week.
I'm just asking a question.
That was what the
Look
job,
at here, just asking a question.
because you just said that it was 16, and it's actually what she was hired, just like when I was hired as an FD, was 8 to 16 hours. That was how the job was posted.
My other question is she fully trained in that position?
Well, given that she resigned, and
Hey,
she's
don't
getting to
attack
the
me, I'm
end of
asking a question.
Give it
Point of order.
I said, given that she handed in her resignation letter, it really doesn't matter that she's given me till July 30th because of all the nonsense. So it really doesn't matter.
Well, there is one more thing. We have some discrepancies with invoice clouds that have been brought up by some other employees. We had a tax payment on December 3rd for $1,378. It was deposited and cleared the bank January 1st of 2025. We have some people trying to work on the reconciliation, and it was in our summary for the fiscal year pulled on May 25th, May 21st of 2025.
Do you have a copy? Sorry, do you have a copy of the check or anything that it references who the tax bill? Because there were some
I
tax
didn't want to
bills.
say the name.
Well, can I look at it?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hers was lost in the tunnel of invoice, or in Avatar. Sometimes when you pull things through and it skips, even if you go over days because you overstep days. Like, let's say I use today's date, I will go back to when it was open Thursday just to make sure you don't miss one. That one was stuck in limbo because I had called invoice for Avatar to have them find out where it was. And it actually, because she actually reached out to me wondering why it didn't go through. So it hasn't been pulled through, and that's why.
So when it's deposited, I'm assuming that it's pulled from her account, or is it?
Yes, it is pulled from her account, but it just sits in limbo in our system. So it doesn't show as paid on like the tax kiosk or in.
That's where she saw it?
Yeah, she saw it on invoice flat on the tax kiosk.
Okay. Do you know if they were any
There have been some over the years, but that was the only one that I know of. And there was like one that the check was written incorrectly. I was waiting for the guy actually saw it to his house and got it corrected. So there are some things that overlap, and usually by name I can tell because it doesn't happen very often.
Thank you. Well, I know.
Anything else? Alright. We're bonding.
We were wondering where we stood with that. Didn't we say that we've done a bond road for?
Right, my understanding is when I brought up last week, or not, 2 weeks ago, that Joni was handling that. That she was looking at the information for us. That's the last item. Oh, Joni, I'm sorry, Robin.
No, like,
Wow.
yeah, no, that's okay.
If I could real quick, because I actually drove down there today to check on it. Just kind of looking to see where the board stands on that project over up Silver Street as far as the stone wall and the other section of town-owned property that was damaged. I just want to make sure we get that addressed before they're done with the project at least. So, is it the board's standpoint at this point to simply have them return the property to the condition it was in at the point that they started the project?
At this point, we're making,
I just haven't
we're
heard
seeing what our options are, so there is no official stance.
As far as the trees go, it's possible. Yes.
So there's no official stance right now, we're
Okay.
finding out what the possibilities are.
Okay. Like I said, I went down there today just to double check and see where things were still at.
How close to being done are they?
I would guess that they're probably going to wrap up here in the next couple weeks, would be my guess at
That's what I
most.
figured.
Yeah.
Roxanne is,
He's in union, I just, so if you want to go to the non-profit, I can go to the comments.
yeah, start off with,
We'll give
you
it
want comments?
5 minutes and if he doesn't show up, we can wait till next week, I guess.
Do you have any US comments?
I would just like to say that I don't agree with people being on their phones texting, doing research during non-votes. I think it's very, I don't know, I just don't agree with it. I don't know if people are texting the information that we're talking about is non-vote for a reason.
No, I agree with you. And I can tell you as somebody who is on their phone doing research to try to find information out while we're non-public, that I am not texting and none of the information that I've ever had in non-public has come out to the public. If there's an allegation that somebody would like to make, they're welcome to do so. But like I said, it's the same thing as if I have a laptop, I'll try to find out what we're talking about to try to identify further information. Because unfortunately, I'm not an expert on everything. Sometimes I need to find information out so that way I can speak healthily about comments.
So I did reach out to Brian Catno at Hampshire Recycles, because we are in the process, and I think Mike, you will follow up on Casella. We're in the process of redoing our contract with Casella, but one of the things we had mentioned is eventually garbage is getting more expensive and whatnot, and so one of the thoughts was potentially Middleton having its own transfer station. So I reached out to Ms. Brian Patton, who's at Hampshire Recycles in Iveson, and had a brief conversation with him. And I got to give him some information about how much tonnage we had and everything. And he's going to give us an idea of some other towns that we could go visit to look at their processing. And there's different ways you can process versus these. You can just kind of dump it all at the transfer station, you can recycle, you can do combinations of different things and whatnot. And this is like a 5-year, this is down the road to look at to eventually get to having its own transfer station. Because he said, I think technically like in Hampshire, there's only like 20 or 30 towns that are left that don't have a transfer station.
When did we start this conversation,
I mentioned it back a while back when we,
It was about a while ago.
a month or 2 months ago, I commented saying, you know, we should, you know, as this contract goes through, maybe Middleton should have its own transfer station. And there seems to be some people interested, so I started looking, and then the NHMA magazine came out last month, and it was doing a big recycling thing up in North Conway, and so I'm like, oh, I saw that it was recycles out there, and I sent it on the website, sent an email to say, hey, you know, trying to get some information, thoughts about it. Not that we're going in that direction, but it could be good, useful information to maybe say, would it help cut our costs with garbage? Because we're paying close to $200,000 a year for garbage, and it's only going to be more expensive.
So going off that, I talked to Tony from Casella. Right now, our contract, I believe, is in limbo. Right there, it expired in the first of the month, but he's working on the numbers to get everything for a contract, and he wants to, he offered us the same rate right now for the months that we're gonna keep going, and then hopefully we have the contract the next week or two. He's been dealing with everyone in the office on vacation, trying to get all the numbers right and make sure everything's presented the right way. So once I do have that number from Tony, I will invite him back here to come and talk in front of the town and townspeople for more of a clarification on numbers and where we stand. And I did reach out to him today, and I haven't heard back from him yet today. So.
Can I ask a question? You commented that Casella said that they would honor our current pricing from June to July.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, please? Just regarding this issue with the hospital transfer station, if we go in that direction, do you have a site for that transfer station?
We're just researching it now.
I understand that, but in order to research, you need to know where it's.
Right now, we're on Ridge Road, where the highway department potentially is going to have a building. That's where probably is the most useful spot. But you need to know like what size. We have to go and look at other towns, see what they have for setups. And pretend, again, it might be a new point, might not be worth going, but I mean, we should look at all our options. Because like I said, garbage is only getting more expensive.
You're right, I mean, this is good of you to pursue this, and what I would like to know is what kind of acreage they would need.
Right, and that's like, yeah, so he was going to, I needed to give him like some alternative usage that they've been picking up and stuff like that, and Brian was going to provide me back with some towns. He's like, oh, you can go look at this town, they have this type of transfer station, go look at this town, they have this, you know what I mean, to give you different types of options, and then he might come back and say, oh, okay, this is, you know.
Right, it's not in our league, but it's worth looking into, and you're right about the future, and
It's going to be more
waste
expensive.
management.
Mr. Kermit?
The other thing is, if we do decide to do our own transfer station, who's gonna man it? Do we have to hire people to do it? Do we have to buy equipment?
Again, it's all part of what a proposal will do to put together if that's what we choose to say what we want to do.
I mean,
Because, right.
it'd be a lot more than $200,000.
We can make choices to say, you can have, because he says it's 3 major players, like it's Casella, Waste Management, and this ELO Maine. They're the ones that pick up garbage. He said, you can either transfer to them, so that means we would have to have a driver, or they can come and pick up. So there's all these different nuances that we need to potentially say, this would work for us, this won't work for us, maybe this will, whatever. But we need to know what all our options are, so that we can make the best decision to say yes or no, or maybe it's a combination of things, but again, it's only going to get more expensive, the garbage. And, in Middleton, we don't reduce, reuse, or recycle, it's unfortunate.
I know on transfer stations, most of them around here, the highway guys manage them. Town highway guys.
Yeah, so several years ago, that was the choice that was voted on, to put a transfer station where our highway is. And that is an absolute no-go, because we've already been through with the state, called them, and discussed it. First of all, they said, why would you even want a transfer station in the center of your town? That is ridiculous. And the second thing they said, because it's a residential area, and you're already contaminating my land, I don't think it needs to go any further.
We're not looking, we wouldn't be looking to put it up here, it would be looking down on the six. I believe that's what the recommendation would be.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, having it in town would be absolutely a wrong idea.
Yeah, and that's not-
No, I know this isn't coming from you, but I just wanna squash that right now, because there are other options, the town-owned land, with better access to Route 16, and that's what you need access to Route 16.
As I said, I just put out the email, that conversation with him saying, hey,
So when is it gonna start?
it's like a 5-year, I told them, I said,
All right.
our contract's 5 years, it'd be nice if we could have, say, we could have something potentially in 5 years, and it may be longer, maybe, like I said, maybe it's no go altogether.
Step in the right direction, but having it in the center of town, I don't think anybody.
Yeah.
So are we gonna have a committee then that's gonna go through all this, or is it gonna be a select board?
Like I said, I'm just, we're trying to get the information together, so then it can be formed to say, okay, this is kind of what we need to do, throw it out there, we need to have a committee. But like I said, I'm just getting information. One conversation, that's all I had, one conversation.
Want to bring Jim up now?
Sure, well, he was on the list, I don't know what he's,
Sorry for being late, couldn't really help it. We would like to put the 2 trucks out for auction. The International 6-wheeler, 7,300 or whatever it is, with no plow gear, just the truck, but with the spare dump body that we have that we removed from the 2009 International, which is in much better shape. We'd like to put a minimum bid of $3,500 on that truck. And then the TerraStar, which is going to go with the plow and wing, not the sander. I would like to ask a minimum bid of $4,500 for that. I don't know what we've done in the past, but I was thinking something like bid to be awarded 30 days after posting.
The phone?
And then I would think that if nobody bids on them, we could either redo it, best offer or something, or just leave them up and wait and see, if you don't.
I think once we get to 30-day mark, then we should just leave them up there if nobody's bidding.
What's that?
Just leave them up there if nobody's bidding.
Yeah.
You said the TerraStar was going with the plow equipment.
What's that?
You said the TerraStar was going with the plow equipment.
Yeah. Long range.
with sealed bids.
What's that?
Sealed bids?
Okay, then,
Well, no, I'm asking, that's the intent, the sealed bids?
Yeah, I guess. It's basically all over, and I had today off, we'll see Kim tomorrow and go through the particulars with her as far as mileage, year. Oh, probably, I'll say it now while it's being recorded that anybody interested in those trucks could stop into the highway garage between 6 a.m., 4:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday and speak with somebody at the highway department. I'm sure we'll give them any particulars, they might want all maintenance on both trucks for the most part has been done either in-house or at the Grezio's extensive service records available.
So we're looking for a motion to follow his directions or follow his request. Anybody want to make a motion to put the,
I'll make a motion
Also,
for seal bids for Thursday.
both vehicles? So 35 for one, 45 for the other.
Is there any like package deal? I don't know. He's like a private business one. I don't know what this price for.
I think that's what they did, but, so, my understanding is you'll provide Kim all the information so it can get posted appropriately.
Yeah, year, mileage.
Process.
Okay.
I just have one question. I have nothing against him. But how come Dan is never here when he's the road agent? Why isn't he ever here discussing this stuff instead of Jimmy coming all the time?
Dan has told him that that's his role.
He's taking the first vacation.
He's the road agent.
Taken since he's been here, I'm pretty sure.
But how long's it been? If you're doing the trucks now, you were supposed to be here, what, a month and a half ago to do this?
Generally speaking,
I just, the last thing is, Dan is never here, you're always up here doing stuff, and that's his job, as road agent.
generally speaking, I'm the guy chasing all that stuff, and then we sit down and discuss it. Come in here, we've discussed that before. That's the way he wants to do it.
But that's not the way to do that.
That's supposed to be going to the board.
Dan gave up the monthly reports.
That's all good there.
Huh? Dan gave up monthly reports. I never heard.
All right. So,
Ain't like I'm asking for a raise or.
Jim? Jim?
What?
You want to talk to the board, that's fine. If you want to talk to the board, that's fine. But we're not going to have back and forth. Or if you're reminded, that's not the way we do their meetings. All right, are we voting on two vehicles?
Yeah, they made them of that, Mike made the motion, who made?
I made a motion.
Tracy made a motion, Mike seconded it.
Yeah,
And then Tracy asked if we wanted to do package.
I think we just want to carry it on.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor? All right. Any opposed? Okay. All right. Public comment.
Hello, Mr. Herman. I just had a couple questions about the dog ordinance. I think it was passed very quietly. We didn't really hear it back here. I don't think most of them heard it. Is there a copy of that ordinance available today?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
Are there copies for distribution or is that the only copy?
No,
Can I get a copy as well, please?
So there's two other good questions, if you don't mind, Mr. Herman. So with this dog ordinance, looking at it, I couldn't attend the last meeting, but there was discussion about service dogs. Was that clarified? Because they have to be let in regardless. There's two things that can be asked of those, but they still have to be let in. We can't warn them, so those are going to be permitted.
Correct.
There, okay. Who can enforce this ordinance?
The police officer.
Is it exclusively the police department?
I believe so.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Can I get a copy also?
You have a great one.
It's too
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say,
All right.
maybe Dan's out on Kings Highway paying the fog line. Maybe, I don't know. But no, you know, I'd like to mention the transfer station. We used to always call it a dump.
excuse me.
You're talking millions of dollars in order to hold it up. Oh, my name's Kevin Boulay, You know, speaking of names, it would be convenient for me anyway, if you all had names that.
Sorry. Kevin. Sorry.
Yeah, it would be convenient for me anyway, if you all had names that. I mean, you're Tim, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, thank you for recording this, by the way.
So, actually, last week we did have name tags.
Anyway, I'd like to mention, for my 2 cents, a transfer station, you're talking millions of dollars. You need at least $500,000 worth of equipment, bobcat, front end loader. I mean, it could generate some revenue for aluminum cans or metal. We have no, there's no metal pickup. In fact, because Friday was a holiday, but there was no trash pickup. Do you know when they'll be around next?
So it happens on Saturday.
Pardon me?
It happens on Saturday. The trash pickup.
Oh, it did happen?
They did have it on Saturday.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, conceptually it's a good idea, I guess, but, because you can't, but you'd have to have a baler, to crush the cans and cube them up, and then you'd have to have at least 2 full-time employees, and insurance, I would think it would be millions of dollars. I don't know, what do we all pay the seller? What do we pay a year for the trash picked up by the road? Does anyone know?
Close to $200,000.
I'm sorry.
$200,000 a year.
Oh, well, that's a deal. That would be much, much cheaper than a transfer station, insurance, hiring employees, and,
We're gonna find out.
yeah. I mean, if Ridge Road would be, anything would leach down, anybody could contaminate their well, potentially. I mean, the NIMBY thing down in my backyard. But, yeah, no, that's, I guess, my 2 cents worth. But no, it would be a big help if I get all that name tags. Yeah, I guess that's all I need to have to say for this. But no, one other thing. It's not. You meet every other Monday.
So we meet the first, second, and fourth Monday of every month.
Oh, okay. So the fourth one would. Oh, really? That's a little confusing. The math.
So we take off the third one, and the budget committee usually meets
Okay. So the next meeting will be
next week.
when?
14th.
Oh, the 14th.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Jones?
So I just have a question at how you came up with I just briefly read it, that the violation's a $100 fine. As the former ACO, first offense for a at-large dog is literally a verbal warning. Second offense is $25. And then it goes up, and then you can so much as confiscate the dog. I'm just asking because obviously I was not told anything about this. What's going to happen when I bring my dog to work tomorrow? Am I instantaneously getting a $100 fine every day until I can find? Because honestly, dog daycare, there's a long waiting list. I'm going to have to go 20 minutes outside the town just to do this. I understand where people are coming from, but I don't feel like everybody got to speak on this. I don't feel like this was a decision that was made based on other than personal feelings on a few select people. And I'm just wondering how this is going to be done because of the fact that I got zero information until tonight.
This has been discussed at the last 2 or 3 Board of Selectmen meetings.
But it was discussed about there's a potential ordinance. I didn't hear anything about a specific fine or how it was going to go down or anything to that effect. You know what I mean?
That's what came up at the last meeting. Tim commented about it, so that was the portion that was added for this piece.
So if
We talked about it, and typically the fines for most any ordinance in town is $100. And Tim made the recommendation that the first offense would be a warning, and then anything after that would be monetary. And basically, an ordinance is, a violation is $100, and it's pretty much standard across any ordinance that's violated.
So basically, I have no grace period whatsoever.
No, the ordinance is in effect. Goes into effect right now.
Well, I guess you have something to do, Scott. Because I don't have a choice, and I don't make that much money, so I don't know, maybe some of the residents that didn't agree with it will help me out paying fines every day. Because I don't have an option. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. I'm just simply saying, I heard, and I know I'm not supposed to name names, but another member of the board mentioned the keypads. Those are exactly there to protect the floor, to protect for when I'm busy and I cannot get outside to take her to the bathroom. There are multiple people that have actually been rather amused and enamored with the fact that she's there. So I'm a little taken aback that this is the turn that the town must take.
Mr. Chairman.
Actually, I'm gonna let,
I just have a
sorry, can I give you
question.
names?
My name is Heather Dovolok. And I just had a question on
Heather
ordinance.
Dovolok.
Can you apply for a variance from ordinances in certain situations?
So this ordinance does allow for an exception.
Right, like, say they have an ladies clinic, so then that would be the exception from that time.
Okay. But did someone submit for a variance to the board if they had a circumstance that they wanted the board to consider?
I guess they could, it was the board's decision to,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'm a little confused. Isn't the tax collector an elected official?
Yes.
So does the Board of Selectmen has like authority over her? Is she like?
no, but the board of selectmen can oversee all town property.
I see. But I mean, I'm just trying to get the 91, because I guess if she's an elected official and you're all elected officials, I guess the 91A isn't really that necessary because that's like hiring or firing or reprimanding or, you know what I mean? I guess, I don't know, I guess.
I did also have one separate question about ordinances. I know that recently, I think there was a few that were rescinded. What does that actually mean when an ordinance is rescinded for in the town? Does it mean it just goes away? Is it a gray area?
So it's rescinded, it's pretty much taken off, take it back.
Okay, so if there's nothing around an ordinance, if there's nothing that's said, it's just gone. So there's nothing, like for example, like Article 14 for family campsites. If you had one and the article's gone, what does that mean for existing ones?
That's a zoning ordinance.
That's,
Versus a town ordinance.
Okay, so what is, so
So the zoning ordinance gets, they vote on in a town in the election, so if it's rescinded, it doesn't pass, and it's rescinded. So that happens at the poll, at the election.
okay, so that's totally separate. Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
anyone else?
I have another question. This is directed, I guess, to Jimmy, saying he's filling in. How do we determine what roads in this town have to be paved again? I guess basically my son lives in Nicola, and Nicola was a pretty good road. There's really nothing wrong with Nicola. I mean, there's like, every time a truck is by, in his dump truck, and I don't know if you get it in the PD, it shakes my house. And I'm getting kind of tired. The other thing is, Drew Drive is a disaster. And, what's the other one, Pheasant? I mean, did you go to the Board of Selectmen? Did he go to the Board of Selectmen and they give okay to have Nicole Road? Or he just made the decisions?
Yes, the chairman, I think.
So,
Rather than me, but
how are-
of course we get,
What's up?
do you want me to speak to it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we did.
You went to the Selectmen?
They read this road and told them what roads we were going to pave and, as far as Nicole Road, I don't know what your expertise is in road maintenance, but that road was paved and never topped. So if you, generally speaking, how you pave a road is you pave it with base 3/4 inch binder, which is quite a bit more porous, if you will, than the top coat that goes on. Now, you can wait a year or two to top it and maybe get a little more bang for your buck, because then you got 2 years in between before you put the nice, beautiful top coat on it. But that one was never top coated. It was not put in up around, the circle.
Around the circle.
Yeah.
But they did it right from the very beginning. right?
So if you, I don't know if you,
I've been, I've
of
done
course, you looked at the road then to, when you're going up there, but it was all turtle shell. And, you know, if that thing would have went 2 more years, then you wouldn't have been able to just overlay it like that, which costs like, I don't know, we'll get the bill here in a couple of days, but let's say it was somewhere between 40 and 60,000 versus starting all over again, which would have been the initial 40 to 60,000, and all the work to get it out of there and get it ready, you know, like that. So that's why, and we wouldn't have topped it, but the price came in a little lower. We had the money because we were just going to take the money that the residual money, and put it towards next year payment, but we had enough to do
So
that.
the Kohler Road was on the list this year.
What's that?
The Kohler Road was on the list this year, or was not?
It got put on at the end of it, that's what.
At the end of the year?
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the schedule. You know what I mean? We had money left over when he gave us the final price. We spoke with Tracy about it, and that's the way we went. We did that extra part of the call.
Okay.
So it doesn't go how bad the roads were all beat up, torn apart.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's how much money, you know, where we're going to save the most money by doing what we're going to do. As far as like Drew Drive, you ain't.
Well, that would've cost a lot more money.
You couldn't do a third of that road with $200,000. And I spoke with Tim about actually sitting down and trying to get some kind of plan together. How we're going to talk. Actually, Dan and I discussed it at Great Lake.
So what about?
That Buttermilk and Partridge. What?
Are you saying you and I had a discussion about that?
Tracy. No, Dan.
Tracy.
Dan.
Dan, okay, I thought you said mine.
Dan and I had talked quite a bit about up there, the best way to attack it, because it is outside of Pinkham. That's probably the worst, you know, the worst spot in town. But, so, you know, Buttermilk, Partridge, cheap money, shim it overlay. Part of Pheasant, up by where your daughter is and stuff, same thing. You could shim that and overlay it till you get up here, Joey Melance's house. Then you're gonna have to.
Well, I basically understood why I figured you didn't do it, because Joe and Lenny and all them had destroyed the road anyways with their big trucks. So why even go up? But I guess one of my questions.
I don't speak in those terms, but.
But that's what happened.
But, no, it's just, it's money, you know, that's probably a $1.5 million job up there at minimum to do it. That's, you know, with us going up and tearing all the rocks out, but the whole thing's gonna have to be reclaimed. You're gonna have to haul gravel in there, because the gravel's all junk.
But that's a big part.
Obviously, whoever was watching over those roads at that time didn't know what the hell they were doing, or they never would have got done.
Well, yeah.
So, what?
But my question
Speaking
is,
about looking for reputation.
Huh?
Speaking about former employees for reputation, we don't do that.
Just telling you how
I just wish that the board and the highway department would at least think about fixing that road.
What's that?
Fixing this right near the police station in my house. I mean, that road, that's actually sinking.
So,
I think we're fairly getting a little off topic, so.
that cut is going to get topped whenever SUR comes back and does the parking lot.
So when are they all coming back?
Well, that's not our project, that's not a road, that's not something that we were charged with doing. This here, they're the committee.
Jim.
Yeah, it's over. Forget it, I'm done.
We're good. All right. Any other public comment?
Is there any current events or any ballots to be cast, any voting this week or any?
There are no elections happening this week.
Okay.
Are there any special events happening? Special events?
No.
No. There's nothing coming up this week.
You know.
Conservation meeting tomorrow night.
Oh, no.
All right, stand. Oh, you know, it's canceled.
Yeah, no, I'm already good at that, alternative or something. You know, one last thing, Last time I had to let the battery die down completely to reset because it's locked and I can't shut it off. All right.
Any other